Hello students, welcome back to Career Power Hyderabad powered by Adda 24/7. Students, today we'll discuss the important MCQs. But before going into the session, please subscribe our YouTube channel, share the channel with your friends, like the videos. Also, download our Career Power Hyderabad app. We'll provide the link in the description. We currently provide coaching for Bank SSC RRB as well as for SI Constable. So do download the app. So let's go into the first MCQ for today. Name the air defense missile system which was recently testified by Russia. So name the air defense missile system which was recently testified by Russia. The answer is S-500. So S-500 is a new air defense missile system testified by Russia. Russia already possesses S-400 and we Indians have purchased S-400 from Russia. So now they upgraded their S-400 to S-500. So you can see on the picture, so this is the S-500. So this system was testified at the Kapustin Yar region on July 10th. So a high-speed ballistic target was completely hit by this missile system. So it's like a dome system. So if any incoming missiles, any incoming planes, this missile system will detect and it will strike them out. It will defeat them out. So this is the benefit of this S-500 system. So this is developed by the company called Almaz Ente company, which is present in Russia. Russia is the important defense company. So this S-500 system, after the successful test, will be placed outside the city of Moscow. So this system will be placed outside the city of Moscow to protect the city of Moscow from the attacks. Okay, so it has a range of 600 kilometers. It has the capacity of destroying ballistic cruise missiles as well as planes and helicopters. This missile system is also effective from countering missiles from space. So if you send a missile from space also, this system can counter them. So remember Russia's capital Moscow, Russia currency, Russian ruble. So please remember all these points. Next question. Government of India has extended duration of Stand Up India scheme to year. Which year? Up to which year? The Government of India has extended the duration of Stand Up India scheme to year 2025. So this scheme is extended till 2025. So initially the scheme is launched in 2016 mainly to promote entrepreneur at the grassroots level. It will mainly serve the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and women entrepreneurs who are the underserved sector of the people. So mainly it will focus on these people. So it will provide bank loans from rupees 10 lakh to rupees 1 crore to at least one scheduled caste or scheduled tribe borrower, at least one woman borrower per bank of the scheduled commercial banks. So this money can be used in establishing factories in manufacturing, service or trading sector. So who are eligible for this scheme? So scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women entrepreneurs above the age of 18 years are eligible for this scheme. So we are discussing the details of the scheme. So try to remember. So loans are given only for greenfield projects. That means new projects. So the other eligibility must be you should not be a defaulter in any bank. So in case of non-individual enterprises, if a group is trying to establish a factory, so in your group, in your company, there must be 51% of the holding by a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or women entrepreneur, then only you will get this loan facility. Okay. So please remember all these points. And new changes this year are the margin money requirement for loan will be just to 15%. So until now, it is 25%. That means if you are taking 1 lakh of loan, you need to establish a 1 lakh of company, you need to put at least 25,000. Rest 75,000 will be given by the bank. But now if you put 15,000, rest money will be given by the bank. Okay. So also agricultural activities also were included into this into this loan system. So you can now avail loans for agriculture. So in this last 5 years, 26,204 crores were spent on 1,16,266 beneficiaries. So this much amount was given to this many beneficiaries, of which 93,094 are women entrepreneurs. So please see all these static points. Next question. Indian Oil Corporation to set up first green hydrogen plant at. So the Indian Oil Corporation to set up the first green hydrogen plant at The answer is Mathura. The answer is Mathura. So, Mathura refinery, which is one of the biggest refineries of the Indian Oil Corporation, which is present in Uttar Pradesh. So, in that plant, the first green hydrogen unit will be established. So, previously they had plans to produce grey hydrogen, which is hydrogen produced from fossil fuels like the natural gas. But now they are planning the green hydrogen plant. So to produce green hydrogen plant, they need 250 megawatts of electricity, which will be produced from renewable energy like the solar power. So this green energy is produced through electrolysis. So you can produce green energy through electrolysis. So hydrogen is a clean fuel, but it uses a lot of energy and also has carbon byproducts. Okay, hydrogen is a very clean fuel, but it is very it uses a lot of energy and it has carbon byproduct. So please remember all these points. So Indian Oil Corporation headquarters Mumbai. Indian Oil Corporation is established in 1959. Next question. Name the IIT Rupar. Sorry, IIT Rupar has developed a device which is the oxygen rationing device. So name the device developed by IIT Rupar. The answer is AMLEX. AMLEX. So the IIT Rupar has developed this device called the AMLEX, oxygen rationing device. Okay. So what is this all about? So the Indian Institute of Technology Rupar, they developed this oxygen rationing device called AMLEX mainly to save oxygen, so which is getting wasted unnecessarily. So this will increase the life of oxygen cylinders as well as the patient. It will provide oxygen for many patients. So it is developed by the assistant professor Dr. Ashish Sahani and his PhD students Mohit Kumar, Ravindra Kumar and Amanpreet Chandra. So this device will supply required volume of oxygen to patient during inhalation and will trip when the patient does exhalation. So when the patient is inhaling, you will send oxygen. When the patient is exhaling, then carbon dioxide will come out. So then what will happen? There is oxygen wastage. So what will they do? This device will trip when you are doing exhaling. When you are inhaling, it will give you an oxygen. When you are exhaling, it will stop the oxygen. So this is the usage where you will reduce the oxygen. Only you will send required amount of oxygen to the patient. So in this COVID pandemic time, nearly the oxygen requirement has increased to 5,000 tons per day. Earlier, before COVID, it was just 700 tons per day, but now it is 5,000 tons per day. See the requirement of oxygen present day. So that is why this type of techniques are used now to maintain the oxygen levels, oxygen stocks, to protect the patients, to provide oxygen to more number of patients. Okay, so this device can work on both portable power supply as well as a line supply. So this is also one point. It will save oxygen at the time because of using all these things. So please remember all these points. So who has been appointed as the deputy leader of Rajya Sabha? Who has been appointed as the deputy leader of Rajya Sabha? Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. So Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, the Union Minister of Minority Affairs, he's been appointed as the deputy leader of Rajya Sabha. The earlier deputy leader, Piyush Goyal, you know, he is now the leader of the house in Rajya Sabha. So Piyush Goyal is now the leader of house in Rajya Sabha. So now Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi will be the deputy leader of Rajya Sabha. So here is the list, please by heart. So in Rajya Sabha, deputy leader is Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. Deputy leader of opposition, Anand Sharma. In Lok Sabha, it is Rajnath Singh. And opposition, there is no leader. We don't have a leader of opposition. How do we have a deputy leader of opposition? We don't have a deputy leader of opposition because no party has 10% of the total seats of Lok Sabha. Okay. Then coming to the leaders, already we discussed the last time leaders. Leader of House, Piyush Goyal. Leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge. Lok Sabha leader of House, Narendra Modi. The leader of opposition in Lok Sabha is vacant because Congress doesn't have 10% of the total seats of Lok Sabha. So in order to be a leader of opposition, you need to have 10% of the Lok Sabha, which is 545 by 10, take roughly 55. And for Rajya Sabha, Just a minute. Just a minute. And for Rajya Sabha, it is 250 by 10, 25. Okay. So the you need to have minimum 25 members in Rajya Sabha and 55 members in Lok Sabha to be the leader of opposition. Okay. Next question. Banking and financial services major Goldman Sachs, sorry. Banking and financial services major Goldman Sachs has opened a global center in which of the following city? Banking and financial services major Goldman Sachs has opened a global center in which of the following city? It is in our very own Hyderabad. So Hyderabad, one of the major IT hubs. So in this IT hub, the banking and financial service major Goldman Sachs has opened its new facility, mainly to expand its global center for engineering and business innovation in India. So Hyderabad is a key investment destination for the banking and financial services in these years. So this office is expecting to have 800 employees by the year end and 2,500 employees by 2023. So this is the employment created by this particular organization. So this office will host functions like engineering, finance, human capital management, support for the customer banking, digital banking, artificial intelligence and machine learning areas. So Goldman Sachs is an American multinational investment bank and financial service company. So it will offer services in investment management, asset management, prime brokerage and security underwritings. So they provide investment backing to institutional investors also. So these are all the services provided by the Goldman Sachs. The Goldman Sachs headquarters is in New York, established in 1869. So please remember all these points. The next question, 15 12.7 mm M2 NATO stabilized remote control gun is manufactured with the transfer of technology agreement with Elbit Systems. So this Elbit system belongs to which country? Very simple question. So M2 NATO stabilized remote control gun is developed with the help of Elbit Systems. So Elbit Systems belong to which country? It is our Israel. So Elbit system belongs to Israel. So the Indian Ordnance Factory, you can see the picture here. So this is our remote control gun developed by the Indian Ordnance Factory as well as the Elbit Systems. So they developed a total 25 guns. 15 are provided to the Indian Navy and 10 are provided to Indian Coast Guard. So with the support of the Elbit Systems in Israel. So this gun is equipped with the camera, thermal imager, laser range finder. So mainly for observation and tracking of targets during day and night. It is mainly meant for marine applications and also it can target, it can engage remote targets. So these are all the benefits of this machine gun. Next question, which of the following state government to provide jobs for all national game medalists and also guarantee sports pension? So which state provides jobs for all the national game medalists as well as guarantee sports pension? The answer is Assam. So Assam is going to provide all these facilities. So the Assam State Chief Minister, Dr. Hemant Biswa Sharma, please remember him. So he is always coming in news, so that is why remember him. So he issued jobs for all the national game medalists of Assam. Also, he will provide sports pension to them. And they are in a discussion to increase the sports pension from 8,000 to 10,000 rupees so that it would help the sports persons of the state. So these are all the benefits of this scheme. So remember Assam Governor Jagadish Mukhi and you know the Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sharma. Next question, Asian Development Bank projected India's economic growth forecast at how much percentage in financial year 2022? The Asian Development Bank projected India's economic growth forecast at how much percentage in financial year 2022? The answer is 10%. The answer is 10%. So Asian Development Bank, it projected 10%. So in the report, the Asian Development Outlook report in July, so the India's GDP growth rate is estimated as 10%. Earlier it is 11%. They reduced it to 10% because of the ongoing pandemic situation in India. So next year for financial year 2022, that is 2022-23, they estimated 7.5. Earlier it was 7, but now they gave 7.5. That means increase in the growth rate. So this Asian Development Bank, if you see, it is a regional development bank established in 1966 and headquartered in Manila, Philippines. The main aim of the bank is to promote social and economic development in Asia. So please remember all these points. The next question: in which of the following city government has decided to set up the Indian Institute of Heritage? In which of the following city government has decided to set up the Indian Institute of Heritage? The answer is Noida. The answer is Noida. So in the city of Noida, the Indian Institute of Heritage will be set up, which was announced by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Northeast Development, Mr. G. Kishan Reddy. So you can see on the picture, he is G. Kishan Reddy, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. So he announced that government will launch this Indian Institute of Heritage at Noida. So this will impact higher education and research in the fields of rich Indian heritage and conservation. It will provide masters and PhD courses in various departments. So this institute is set up by merging all these institutes below. The Institute of Archaeology, the National Archives of India, the National Research Laboratory for Conservation of Cultural Property, National Museum, Institute of History of Art Conservation and Museology, Academic Wing of the Indian Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts. So these are all institutes are merged to form the Indian Institute of Heritage. Okay, so please remember all these points. We already discussed Ministry of Tourism Culture, G. Kishan Reddy. Next question: name the billionaire who made a short journey to space in his first crewed flight of his rocket ship, New Shepard. So who is that billionaire who went into space with his flight New Shepard? The answer is Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos is is one more billionaire who went into space using his new spaceship called the New Shepard. Okay. So billionaire Jeff Bezos, along with his brother Mark Bezos and Wally Funk, as well as Oliver Damon. So all these four people, they went into space. So in a small capsule with bigger windows, biggest windows, they had stunning views of Earth. So this flight was it lasted for 11 minutes 11 seconds, and the oldest person to go into space is Wally Funk. It's a new record created by them. And the youngest 18-year-old student, Oliver Damon. So Oliver Damon and Wally Funk, so both of them are youngest and oldest to go into space. So this particular flight was launched from the Texas state. So it after 11 minutes, it landed safely at the West Texas desert. So this is the flight path. So flight, this is the capsule, the rocket. So rocket launched into space. So the capsule divided from the rocket. After it went into the 100-kilometer Kármán line, which is the space, outer space. So it stayed in outer space. Then immediately it dropped down and fell on the West Desert, Texas desert. So this is the entire journey of the flight. And also the rocket which is used, also it came down. So it is a reusable rockets. So very good activity done by Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin. So this is the flight path, flight story, flight profile. Okay. So this company, New Shepard of rocket is developed by Blue Origin. So Blue Origin is a company launched mainly to develop the space tourism. It's a privately funded aerospace manufacturer and also space flight service company developed by Jeff Bezos in 2000 and headquartered in Kent, Washington State, USA. You will find this company there. So these are all the details of the Blue Origin company. The next question: which of the following country has unveiled Maglev magnetic levitating train capable of a top speed of 600 kilometers per hour? So which country has unveiled this Maglev train? The answer is China. The answer is China. So China has unveiled this magnetic levitating train, Maglev train, shortly Maglev train, which has a speed of nearly 600 kilometers per hour. So this train is developed at the Qingdao province of China. So it is now currently the fastest ground vehicle globally. So using electromagnetic force, this magnetic train levitates above the track with no contact between the body and the rail. So it doesn't have any contact between the body and the rail. It just travels on the track. So this technology is used by China from almost 2 decades. So Shanghai is already having a maglev line between airport and the city. So at 600 kilometers per hour, so between Beijing and Shanghai, it will take hardly 2.5 hours journey with 1,000 kilometer distance. So 1,000 kilometers you can cover in 2.5 hours. So currently this 1,000 kilometers is covered 3 hours by flight and 5.5 hours by high speed rail. So by using this maglev trains, you can go in 2.5 hours. You can save time and money. So this train can travel with 2 to 10 carriages, each carriage having 100 passengers. So it is mainly used for 1,500 kilometer distance, very apt for 1,500 kilometer distance. So these trains do not have contact with rail tracks compared with the conventional trains which have contact with the rail tracks. So it has efficiencies, like it has a lot of benefits like efficiency, speed, which produces less noise. All these are the benefits of these trains. They can start and stop quickly and they are safe to travel. So please remember all these points. China capital Beijing, China currency renminbi. Okay. Next question. Which of the following insurance company has introduced Arogya Raksha, a non-link, non-participating, regular premium individual health insurance plan? So which of the following insurance company has introduced Arogya Raksha? The answer is Life Insurance Corporation of India. So LIC has launched this Arogya Raksha. It is a fixed benefit health insurance cover which provides timely support and remains financially independent and helps the family to remain financially independent in difficult times. So this Arogya Raksha is different in the method of payment of reimbursements. So generally, the comprehensive health policies, they reimburse the actual amount incurred on medical treatment. Okay, but here Arogya Raksha pays a lump sum benefit equal to the sum insured. So it will pay lump sum amount irrespective of the actual medical cost. So this is the difference between Arogya Raksha and other LIC products. So individuals can insure themselves, their spouse, their children, their parents under one policy. So for individuals, their spouse and parents, it is 18 to 65 years. This policy is available. For children from 91 days to 20 years. So this cover is available up to 80 years and also children up to 25 years. So you can apply and you can have this cover up to 25 years for children and 80 years for adults. So these are all the benefits of the LIC Arogya Raksha. Please remember all these points. LIC headquartered in Mumbai, LIC established in 1956. The next question, name the village which has been bestowed with the Kerala's first book village. So which village is called the book village in Kerala? The answer is Perumkulam. So Perumkulam in Kollam district is the book village. It is called the book village. So this book village was established by the Bapuji Sambaraka Grandashala. So this is a library in the village. So they established book villages in the village, Perumkulam village. So this library will have bookshelves. You can see in the picture. These are the bookshelves. So they are called booknests. They are placed in different corners of the village. So anyone can take books from here. They can read them and they can take it back. So 11 such shelves were established in the entire village with nearly 7,000 books. So this library also delivers books to homes. So this library was called the book village by M.T. Vasudevan Nair, who is a legendary Malayalam writer. He called this as the book village. So the State Library Council, they requested the Chief Minister to officially confer the title book village to Perumkulam. So that is why now it is called the book village. Perumkulam is the Kerala's first book village. So Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijayan, Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan. So please remember all these points. The last question for today, NMCG has approved new projects for rejuvenation of 6 rivers in Uttarakhand. So what is the abbreviation of NMCG? NMCG means National Mission for Clean Ganga. National Mission for Clean Ganga. So the Executive Committee of National Mission for Clean Ganga has approved the rejuvenation of 6 polluted river stretches in Uttarakhand. So this committee, the National Mission for Clean Ganga, is headed by Rajiv Ranjan Mishra. So they approved rejuvenation of 6 polluted river stretches. So they are present in the Kumaon region in Uttarakhand. So these 6 rivers are here. You can see on the screen: Bella, Della, Kicha, Koshi, Nandur, Pilakar and Kashipur. So these are all the 6 river streams. They need to be rejuvenated under this National Mission for Clean Ganga. Also remember Uttarakhand Governor Babirani Maurya, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhammi. The new Chief Minister, please remember. So let us see the Namami Ganga project and the National Mission for Clean Ganga. So Namami Ganga project is an integrated conservation mission launched in 2014 to accomplish the twin objectives of effective abatement of pollution, conservation and rejuvenation of the national river Ganga. To abate the pollution and to rejuvenate the national river Ganga. Okay, so it is operated under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. So this program is implemented by the National Mission of Clean Ganga, so which we are discussing now. So under this National Mission of Clean Ganga, we will maintain the sewerage treatment infrastructure, industrial effluent monitoring, riverfront development and river surface cleaning, biodiversity and afforestation, as well as public awareness. So these are all the activities done under this scheme. Okay, so please remember all these MCQs, very important for your further examinations. So do subscribe our YouTube channel, share the channel with your friends, like our videos. Also join the Telegram channel for this PDF. So do download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We provide coaching for Bank, SSC, RRB as well as for SI Constable. So our offline classes are currently running. You can visit our branches, Dilshuk Nagar, Amirpet. So the phone numbers are available on the display. So you can call the numbers or you can visit the institute. So you can avail the address and phone number. So do subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you, students. We'll meet in the next session.